Wow. Thanks to my brother behind the camera for doing the help. But yes. Today is a review of The Way of Water, Avatar 2. I told you before I was going to do this. Maybe I wasn't, maybe I was, but I did see it, and I got to say, first thoughts, it was very boring. The middle part was got me out of it, but the rest wasn't bad. Just in general, first general thoughts. Um, it, it's an interesting movie because number one, when I saw how much it cost to make, I was a little shook because there's this whole thing where Disney tries to make uh, uh, basically as much money as they can possible, right, off their movie. So when I saw that this cost 430 as much as it did, I never thought that number one, oh, thank you. Sorry, I'm in a different place. I'm in my mom's house, parents' house for Thanksgiving and Christmas. No, not Thanksgiving. I left for Thanksgiving, came back. Can you hear the helicopter? But yeah, we got into the movie very quick. But yes, I'm in a different place than usual. Camera setup is perfect, done by my brother. Thank you. He didn't want to be on video, but that's okay. Yeah, I'm in a different place. I'm outside for aesthetic reasons, not because I don't want people to listen to me. Of course not. But yeah, I'm outside. And what else? What else surrounding this movie can I tell you? No drugs were ingested during this movie. Completely sober, 3-hour movie. A little too long. And the theater was loud. That's another reason I don't like seeing popular movies when they first come out. We didn't see it the first weekend it came out. We saw it the second weekend, if you're watching this whenever. But it was still packed, fucking noisy as hell. And I think there was a kid screaming to the back left of me. And every time I tell people, oh, I don't see popular movies the week they come out, or the week after even, it's for this very reason. The movie theaters are terrible. Movie theaters are terrible. Full movie theaters are terrible. Now, quieter indie movies aren't bad, right? They're fine. They're usually not bad at all. But this was terrible. So the people and the noise of it was bad. The movie itself, let's get into that. Number one, as a whole, James Cameron as a director, he really should be in the video game business, making video game cutscenes. He needs to, number one, again, these are just the first general thoughts. Number one, he needs to straighten up the story, right? He needs to really bring it together. There were so many parts that were so unnecessary in this that just you didn't need. You did not need so much of this movie. It was, I mean, the part there's a huge gap. Just to give you what I'm talking about, an idea. This movie starts. Sully and his family are swinging around the trees, having fun, whatever, loving each other, right? Everyone's still alive in the family. Spoiler alert. This whole thing's spoilers. Everyone's still alive. Boom, boom, boom. They're shooting fish in the water. They're doing whatever. And you think, oh, okay, great. They do that for about 15 minutes. 10 minutes too long. Too long. The whole section was too long. That's number one. Number two, there's a 45, and I checked my phone. There's a 45-minute gap between, I'm looking at my laptop for the levels. There's a 45-minute gap from when we see the bad guy to when we see him again. And I know, there's not a big deal. But think about the movies you've seen. Almost a whole hour goes by where we don't see the villain, where we care nothing about what he's done, even though the last time we saw him, he did something important. He learned how to fly one of those dragon things, which is hugely important. We don't get to see his team try to do it. We don't get to see anybody. There was a big lack of character development for the villain. There just was. His character development, I guess, happened in the first movie. I don't really remember. I don't think it did. I'm pretty sure all we get is that he is a kind of misunderstood a war guy, what's it called? A Marine. No, that's not the word I was looking for, but you know what I'm talking about. He's like a misunderstood Marine, and in this movie, he's even more misunderstood because the human, Spider in this movie is his name. He's only one human. He is the bad guy's son in this. You come to learn. Yeah, and they gave him a lot of things. They gave him a son. He has a son. They gave him. He's now a Na'vi. He's an avatar now. They gave him so much, yet they didn't explore so much of it. You know, the bad guy in this movie wakes up as a Na'vi because he died in the first one, and they copied his body. They don't explore anything with him being a Na'vi. I mean, he takes it on the chin as if he just woke up. He fights, you know, he does that thing where people in movies come out of comas or come into a place they don't know, and he like fights the guys around him who are also. I gotta make sure. Whenever I hear something like that, because there could be animals behind me, so I gotta. When I do hear something, I am looking around, so don't worry about that. But he doesn't explore any of it. I mean, this guy just died. Think about it. You know, his consciousness. He just died. Wakes up as a Na'vi, fights the guys for about a couple minutes, then watches a video of him, you know, of his human, you know, where his brain got copied, telling him that it's okay, go fight Sully. He's dead. This is like a new lease on life. Imagine you died, but you woke up the next day in your head, you know, a couple hours in your head, who knows, years, in a new body, a younger body, a stronger body, an alien body, and I tell you, hey, the person that killed you is over there, go get him. No. There's so much more going on. There's the fact they don't explore his mental, they don't explore his team's mental about being a Na'vi now. It's crazy. They just pass over that. That was such a huge thing to me, and really, when you think about it, he should not be on the human side anymore. Not that he's an avatar. Not that he's a Na'vi, an avatar. He should not be on the human side anymore. In the very beginning of the movie, they say, we need your help because we want to take over this planet because Earth is dying. He is no longer part of that plan. He's not human. Let's say they do take over, which is another thing we'll get back to, taking over a planet. In this movie, their plan is because Earth is dying, they want to take over this planet, basically. But you can't take over a whole planet. It's insane. They want maybe an area of it, but it's so out of the realm of possibility that this small group of humans would take over the entire Avatar planet. That plan is insane. She goes, yeah, but we need to get rid of the natives, if you know what I mean. I'm like, you guys aren't on, like, you guys didn't, this isn't like Columbus. Like, you didn't just, like, show up on the coast and there's some avatars. This is the plan. They're talking about taking over the planet. The plan is insane. That makes no sense, but go back to him. They don't explore anything about him being an avatar, which is insane. I thought this 3-hour movie was going to be parallels of him and Jake Sully. And there are. There are parallels about him being a father. Them both being fathers in this movie is a big deal. But I feel like it's so much more important that him becoming an avatar is a point. It's not a point in this movie. He's taken on the chin as, yes, I'm an avatar now. Even though my last memory was me literally exploding in a robot. It's crazy. And they don't explore him at all doing that. So that's number one. I didn't understand that. That's crazy to me. Number two. Well, not number two. Let's get... we talked about his character. Let's talk about Jake's character, right? I'm not going to talk about every character, but Jake's character. The first movie, I thought he was pretty much what do they call it? A wet blanket. He was just like very boring. He has no real character. Well, he has a character, of course, but he's so... You could put anybody's personality onto him. And I know that might be the point. That might be, well, I'm doing that on purpose so anyone can be attached to Jake Sully. He's a family man, basically. His entire identity in this movie is that he is a family man, and that's it. There's no. Again, I don't know how to put it exactly. He just has no personality. He has none. You could put anybody in his shoes. You could put anybody in the mind of a family man trying to protect his family. That's it. The wife has a personality. His kids have a personality. Great cast. It was a good cast. Besides him, it's a great cast. The wife did well. The daughter, I think, did really well. They all did well. But him is so bland. I would say he has a very bland performance. Not bad. I wouldn't even say he's not a bad actor. It's just you wish he did more. You wish he brought a little more personality to it. It is what it is, though. But I struggle to even say what his inner thoughts were, because a lot of these characters, you can kind of tell what they're thinking. You cannot tell what's Jake, his name, Jake Sully. They call him. He's a chief. Also, I don't know how the fuck he became the chief, but so he's the chief in the. All right, so skip forward a little bit, right? His character, great. The weird thing about this is that he is the chief in the avatars who swing from tree to tree, and they call them jungle people in this, right? They leave because they are now being chased by, the bad guy who is now an avatar, not a human anymore, but still has a grudge, even though, again, it does make sense. If you woke up an avatar on that planet, you would not be with the humans, because in the future, even if your plan goes correct, they're going to kill you. You're an avatar now. The humans don't want you here. You are now them. And also, is he government property now? I don't know. Beside that, Jake is a war chief, I guess a war chief you could call him, in the tree people section of the Avatar world. They leave because they're being hunted. They go to the water. The people who swim underwater. This is why the movie is called The Way of Water. The next movie, I bet, is going to be called something having to do with sand, because they got each movie, he said, is going to take place on a different environment in the world. So this one was water, and the next one I think is going to be sand. After that might be air, whatever the fuck, they could do something. Who knows? It's a made up world. They could do whatever they want. They go here. For some reason, they treat them as if they are completely foreign and they have no idea what's going on or who they are. They treat them like as if they just came down. Like they just came down from the sky and they've never seen a blue person before, because the water people are lighter blue than the people in the forest. And I have a hard time believing that in this Avatar world, Jake has never heard of the water people. Never heard of them. I have a very hard time believing that, because I get that technology doesn't exist, but there's no way. They didn't even fly that far to get to the water people. There's no way, absolutely no way. They haven't communicated. That makes no sense to me. You can't live there for years. There's no way. And then one of the girls, his daughter, goes, well, I didn't know that there were people swimming over here. It's like, it confused the hell out of me. I was like, how do you guys have no idea who else is on this planet? There's no way you guys just don't go. You have nobody who scouts out other places on the planet. That was wild to me. They didn't even fly that far, and the people were looking at them like they were aliens. They were like, they look at this guy's tail. I'm like, well, you guys have never met? You don't know this guy at all? They had a whole war over there on that side. People were turning into avatars, and this part of the world, I was like, so you guys have never seen human? Like, I really needed to know in this movie, scale wise and space wise. I just needed like a map, almost just a little map that showed me how far Jake's people were, the avatars we know, and where the water people were, just a little bit. It was so disorienting. Let's talk about disorienting in a second, but it was so, I just needed a map to like, where are they in the world? Like, how do you guys not know they're water people an hour away by flying? Doesn't make any sense. They also didn't know that there were sea monsters. I go, how do you guys not know anything about this planet? He's been living here for years. You guys just stay in the woods and hunt fish? But no, they don't. They go and they like take stuff from the humans. You know, they're constantly fighting the humans in this movie. So that was weird. It's weird that they don't know what's on their own planet, even like an hour away. Strange. So that's that. That's strange. Like I said, the daughter, the kid, the son. Again, spoilers. The son, the oldest son, gets killed by the youngest son. It's a complete accident, but he keeps fucking up throughout the movie, right? He then meets a whale that has also by accident killed some of his own family. The whale I'm talking about. A weird situation, yes, but their tie, I thought their bonding was very light in this movie. He meets this whale who is like an outcast, and he is an outcast kind of, even though all the stuff he did by, on his own volition, and I guess he's an outcast, but are you really an outcast if you purposely keep fucking up? And, like what really classifies an outcast? Just like the whale, they call the whale an outcast because he by accident killed some of his family in a war. But I don't know. I don't understand that part. But aside from that, the male character, the kid, the one that doesn't get killed, is a good character. They're all the kids are good characters. What I found interesting about these kids, though, was I wish I saw more of the other kids, we see two main sets of kids. We see the chief's kid and his daughter, and then we see the chief of the water people I'm talking about. We see Sully's kids and the chief of the water people and his wife's kids. And it really felt like they're literally the only kids on the planet. You don't see any other kids. You see a bunch of grown-ups, and the whole time I was wondering, where are these other kids? They can't be the only one with kids. So that was strange. I'm talking about all the strange things first. I'll talk about the good later. The bad first. Other bad. Now I saw people say this, but I don't know if they're being serious or not. But the frame rate went from, I want to say 48 to a regular 24 at times. Just in the middle of a battle, the frame rate would change. And I was with my dad, my brother, while we saw this, and I asked my dad if he recognized that after the movie. I said, the frame rate got weird. It was like really smooth. He doesn't really know what frame rate is, but I was like, how it got really smooth and then choppy. And then he goes, yeah, because of the action scenes. I go, well, I don't know if it was only the action scene. He goes, no, I think they're smooth in the action scenes, and then they were less smooth in the talking scenes. And I said to him, I don't know. I think even in some talking scenes it switched. The frame rate was odd, and I really don't even get why they didn't do the whole movie the same frame rate. It really baffles me. And I've seen people online almost make a joke about this. And they go, well, yeah, it's really confusing, like Jack's Films. He did, and I'm not sure if he was joking or see it, but it is distracting. So I don't know what the fuck the joke is about this frame rate thing that's going on online, but it is distracting. I don't know, and I don't know if people don't notice it. Older people don't know. Who the fuck knows? But it is distracting as hell. The frame rate moving was distracting. Just keep it in a regular frame rate. I don't, again, that's my whole problem with this movie, is that it's a video game. There are moments in here where explosions will go off and they don't even look like they're in the world of Avatar. It's completely CGI. It didn't even look natural for the world. When we're talking about the frame rate and we're talking about, sorry, I don't like my computer to go to sleep while I'm recording. And let me check this. Okay, cool. But yeah, even for the world, the frame rate equaled with the heavy use of CGI was, I don't know, it distracted me. Maybe it didn't distract everybody, but it distracted me at times, definitely. The mix of the frame rate, the explosions, the every time a whale jumped over somebody, it was 60. It was not 60 frames. I think it was 48 frames for a second. Maybe I'll correct it. I'll put it on the screen. I think that was obviously a choice by him, by James Cameron, and probably his editors to do something different, to do something cool. I don't know if it worked out. I've seen online a major part of people not even bring it up, and then when they go called out, like on Twitter, they don't notice it. They go, "What frame rate changing?" I go, "How do you not understand frame rate changing? You don't visual. I mean, you may listen. You may know nothing about frame rate, graphics, video games, nothing. But when you're watching this movie, you see when that shit changes. You may not know what's happening. You may not know the word for frame rate. You may not know that most movies aren't in 48 frames and that this is kind of a newer thing that action films want to do. And it's that fucking setting on your TV that, you may have no idea. But I really have a hard time believing that people don't see it change in front of them. That was odd. So I don't get what's happening with the frame rate. I don't know why he did it. I don't get it. It's odd. So that's interesting. I don't get the frame rate thing. What else is odd about this movie before I get into the good? I think that was it. I think just in general, the world was cool. It looked great. Everything about it looked great. It looked amazing. It did. It looked great. The wife, Jake's wife, her whole performance was great. I really don't even believe Jake when they first get hunted, they leave and go to the water people, like I said. And that moment when they're leaving is so heart-wrenching for his wife and his kids, and I get that he has to act tough. He has to be the dad, and he, it's all about protecting his family in this movie. But he shows no emotion, even to show us that he feels something. It's just like nothing. And then when they're flying to the new place, they ask him, how long does it take? And he doesn't even look back at his own home. It's like, so are we just saying he's a robot? I get he wants to protect his family, but damn, they really made it so he showed no emotion in this movie. He shows a little bit when his son dies, but even that, he goes immediately to fighting, which is fine. And they also did say that they would deal with the son dying more in the next movie. So fine. If you're actually going to deal with it more, then deal with it more. But in this movie, them dealing with that it's almost, that shit happens so quick in this movie, that son dying. I mean, he gets shot in like the leg and they don't even know he shot it for a second. I don't know. The death of that brother was quick. And I don't think talked about enough. Sorry, I went back to the bad, but it's just in my head. What else? What else is good? Again, the look of everything is good. When it was consistently in the same frame rate, the action scenes were cool as fuck. But I want to say the CGI in this movie, everyone is praising and saying it's the greatest CGI they've ever seen, this and that. It's okay CGI. It looks like a great video game. That's what this is. And in my opinion, sorry, dog. We do have coyotes over here, though, where my parents live. So sometimes when I hear a dog barking or something, like an animal doing something a little crazy, or I hear too fast of a movement, it could be coyote, or it could be, we have gophers, too. Like I saw okay, no, I think it's like, but I saw multiple over here, so they're back there, and camera. We have cameras too, and my dad will wake up and look at the cameras and see what happened last night, because he'll see a light turn on or something, and they are out there, man. There was one just last night right by my window. What was it? What do you say it was? It was what is that animal? A raccoon. It was a raccoon and a uh something else was under my window. Who knows? But yeah, it's not good. But coyotes fuck up a lot of people. There was a kid that just got a little while ago. Her face at the beach. A coyote at the beach like got her. Besides all that though, there's also I'm not gonna edit any of this out because I don't have time and it's Christmas and you guys unfortunately won't get an edited version of this. You're gonna have to. This is the full thing. Too bad. But that guy, I was watching that guy FD Signifier. I watch him a little bit. He's a little too smart sometimes though. Annoying. Smart people are annoying, but he has long videos, so hopefully people watch long videos. I don't know how to make a short video. My points are too long, and I'm too not savvy with editor, so it's okay. Whatever. The good, like I was saying, it looks amazing. He should just direct video games. Oh, that's what I was saying. This CGI isn't like, in my head, CGI is more subtle. Great CGI to me is almost like you can't tell it's CGI. You know, great CGI is when you leave a movie and you say, whoa, that was really good. The de-aging was really good. I couldn't tell. That's good CGI to me. Good CGI is when you leave an action scene and you go, wait, what was CGI and what was that explosion CGI? That stunt looked really good. Great CGI to me isn't leaving a movie and going, that looked exactly like a video game cutscene. Amazing. So it's just a great video game. Good CGI goes subtle and, it's not noticed. It's integrated into the movie perfectly, and that's what good CGI is. I don't go to a movie and go, that was all CGI. It was really good. They rendered it really well. I'm like, so we're just complimenting a video game at this point, to me. So I don't know about the CGI in this movie. It's good CGI again, but is it really, or is it just a really good looking video game that you don't get to play? And that you don't get to make the choices because Sully makes terrible choices in this whole movie. The whole movie, they could have just stayed in they could have just stayed in the forest and protected themselves like that. Again, I bet the people, since he's a war chief, would have been with him. They go to another village, fuck up that village. He burned the village looking for Sully. Sully made terrible choices. The wife made better choices, and Sully didn't listen to him because he's a man. I really have no idea why he didn't listen to his wife. There's like multiple times his wife was 100% correct, and he didn't listen to her in this for the sake of saving his family, I guess. And also her bow breaks. She said her bow was gonna break in the middle of in the beginning of the movie. He didn't listen. The bow breaks. She's sad. It was a sad moment. It's all his fault. This is all Sully's fault. If he just stayed and they really armored themselves in the forest and were like, listen, this is our final stand. We're killing this motherfucker. I don't care whose dad he is. There's another thing, by the way. Spider, who is the bad guy's dad, saves him. Saves the bad guy in this movie, who is his father, and doesn't tell Sully and his family, who is his arch enemy at this point. Doesn't say that he just saved him. He just lifted this man out the water after this man just created the most bullshit, the most nonsense, brought a ship, everything. The ending of this movie was crazy. Again, it looked amazing. I'm not saying this movie's bad. It looks great. But are we just complimenting a video game, or are we actually complimenting the movie? Because take the people out of this movie, the humans, even them, when they get shot up in the air, when the guy loses his arm, that's all CGI. Take the humans out of this movie. This is a fully CGI rendered on a computer movie. Yes, they are doing motion capture 100%, and I add that to the production quality, but let's not act like this is good CGI. It's just a video game. What are you complimenting? Are you complimenting the CGI for it just looking like a video game and you just watched a cutscene? And all the people saying this is great CGI, I bet don't play video games, because if you have any idea of the way graphics are getting now, if you played any game lately with RTX on even, you would understand that this is par for the course of video games nowadays. It's really not even that far off from cutscenes. Even when I turn up my settings all the way on Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. When you turn up, I just watched a GTA 5 mod. It just popped up. It looks amazing. There are good graphics out there, and so everyone praising this movie for the graphics. It's like you're just complimenting a video game. You're complimenting him for getting great artists. That's what you should compliment. What else am I gonna say? God, yeah, that CGI. I needed to say that. The acting was great. Even the bag, everyone, Spider, everyone. The acting was great, but Sully was a wet blanket. The ending of this movie was, I don't know, it was okay. The action is good. Everything with the woman. I would see this movie if the wife in this movie was the main character. Again, like I'm not gonna go see this movie again. It's too long. Number one, the middle part got me so bored. And them learning how to swim, the kids, I was out. I was like, I can't. I get it. They're learning how. I get it. We've seen this, in multiple movies. The new people in this world learn how to do what the natives already mastered, and then they somehow master it. Yeah, this is already a little long, but it's okay. What did I want to say about this movie? It was overall mid. I would say the highs are the action, the lows are Sully doing his weird fighting movements, which I don't know why he fights like a human. Shouldn't he fight like an avatar by this point? But yeah, so that's that. I was also waiting to see more humans, but I guess not. I don't know why I was waiting for that. Because again, take out the humans. This movie is just an Avatar on Avatar movie. So, it's interesting. Oh, them getting that stuff out of the whale to age people made no sense at all. So they go, I guess if it doesn't come up in another movie, that was the most wasted moment in time of a movie ever. They do all this shit to get the whale, and then they take that stuff that apparently makes humans never age. Do any of them use it? Because apparently not. Those old motherfuckers, they all looked old as hell. So I don't know who's using this serum to never age. I guess that'll come up in another movie. I don't know who's using the serum. A lot of dogs barking and stuff. I don't know who's using the serum for that. So they do all this, and all they do is take it out. They hump these huge whales in the movie, then they take it out of them, and then they use the rest of the body for nothing. They don't eat it. They don't do shit with it. That makes no sense. Why, if you know this is a thing, why wouldn't you just figure out a way to get, number one, you wouldn't just go killing random. You would breed them. That's all. You would breed them. You wouldn't just go killing them. You would breed them. You would breed them, and you would say, okay, how do we figure out how to breed whales with the most of this stuff that apparently that doesn't let humans age? That none of them use, and we don't hear about it ever. We hear about it that one time. No one ever uses it in the movie. You would breed them. You wouldn't just go wildly hunting these people, these whales. And also the subtext of whaling being bad is huge in this movie, but yeah. You would breed them. It makes no sense to just go wildly out and kill these whales. You would breed them. You just would. And I'm not saying it'd be good, but that's what humans would do. You would breed these whales so you constantly have a flow of them. You wouldn't just go wildly killing these people. He goes, this is 80 million thing. You go, that's 80 million? That whale is dead. You can't get any more from that whale. Now you have to go find more. You know how many more there are in the water. It makes no sense. Yeah, so that's why I want to end on that. I just didn't want to lead that without remembering. But yeah, that's it. The whole movie, I would give it a 6. Yeah, all right. Sully was bad, and thanks for watching.